People can't help but notice that every night we see an awesome Chet Holmgren highlight in a win, but we're seeing less and less Victor Wembanyama. What happened? I thought this kid was going to be the first rookie all-star since Blake Griffin. Apparently not, because Chet deserves that honor. He's got similar numbers to Vic so far, with insanely better efficiency. I can't explain how impressive these numbers are. 57% from the field, 46% from three, 91% free throw. Only 10 players ever have shot 50, 40, 90. Guys like Larry Bird, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. So obviously, these numbers won't last. But what if it does? Oh my God. The Thunder have their championship number 2. Because truth is, we had no idea he'd be this good on offense already. Everyone predicted a defensive impact. Not this. On the flip side, Wemby's up and down, and the reason is the Spurs' fault. A decision is being made that is hurting Wembanyama every night. But they're in completely different situations. Wemby's team is rebuilding. The Thunder might be done with their rebuild. OKC has every piece a contender needs. They have the star, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, maybe the number 2 with Chet, elite role players like Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Josh Giddey, and a good coach. Top 10 in offense and defense. Plus, SGA is the best clutch player in the game. When they beat the Warriors, it was set up by Chet hitting that 3 to force overtime. Not only a great play, but he wanted that big moment. On the road, super rare for a rookie, but SGA dominated, hitting 5 of 6 shots to win. The Spurs aren't even competitive. They have lost 3 games by 36 plus points. Another blowout by 21. It's early, but they constantly blow big leads. Even when Wemby has a good game, the Grizzlies come back from down 19. They make dumb turnovers and have the second worst offense and defense. Part of the problem is Chet's got great teammates and he's playing a role. Wemby really has no limits and he can take any shot he wants. Defenses are keyed on him, so he's less efficient. But the one thing hurting him most is a decision by Greg Popovich. Before the season, Pop decided to bench true point guard Tre Jones and start power forward Jeremy Sohan. He's one of the most disruptive players in the NBA on the court and social media. He once posted, "Why does King James flop so much?" He even picked a fight with a notorious tough guy, Markieff Morris, and took him down. No, I'm talking about Russell Westbrook. Jeremy played a word association game with teammate Malachi Branham last year when he was a rookie. The question was, Russell Westbrook gets a lot of these. Sohan said, bricks. Oh, that went over well on social media. The answer is triple doubles. But last year, Sohan showed a high basketball IQ, quick decisions passing the ball, bringing it up the floor like a Draymond Green type power forward. So Pop was like, why not be our full-time point guard? The problem is Sohan's never played point guard, so the experiment's not going well. He just can't create easy looks for his teammates and leads to a lot of unforced turnovers. Everyone is begging Pop to stop the pain, cause it's obvious. With Tre Jones on the floor, their offensive rating is 115.8, a respectable number 10 in the NBA. With Sohan, 100.1, dead last by a mile. In fact, an advanced stat says the Spurs generate 0.96 points per possession when Jeremy initiates the offense. He is the worst qualified point guard in the league. Now, this is not to dunk on Jeremy Sohan. I like him, and he is hating this. I'm doing it. I'm making a transition like this in the NBA, which is rare, when you don't see a lot of people going from power forward to point guard. There have been moments where it's like, yo, I don't want to. It's like, F this S. I'm gonna be honest. But knowing the trust I have from coaches and players, it helps. Well, it's not helping in developing Victor Wembanyama, and that has Spurs fans pretty upset. Victor Wembanyama is more important than Pop's ego, feelings, or legacy. Chet really gonna win Rookie of the Year because Pop's old ass wants to be stubborn with the Sohan experiment, and Greg Popovich is an overrated coach, getting exposed without Tim Duncan like Bill Belichick without Tom Brady. Just average. Oh, they are turning on Pop. But is there some truth to that? Some people look at Eric Spoelstra and say, now that is a great coach. Wins with LeBron and D-Wade, goes back to the finals with Jimmy Butler, does more with less. He doesn't need superstars. Well, they have said this about Pop before. He became coach in 1996 when he was hired by the GM himself. That's right, he fired the coach Bob Hill and hired himself as coach. But they still sucked, going 17-47. So people called him egotistical for hiring himself and overrated. But the Spurs got the #1 pick in Tim Duncan. By 1999, they won their first title with Duncan and David Robinson. Two big men, perfect for 90s basketball. Pop coached an inside-out type of ball that won again in 03, 05, and 07. But all of a sudden, he completely changed everything. From 03 to 09, the average age around their big three, Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, was 30 years old. In 09, it was 33 years old. They had vet role players like Bruce Bowen, Robert Horry, and Steve Kerr. But after 09, the age plummeted to around 26. All of a sudden, Tim, Tony, and Manu had young guys like Patty Mills, Kawhi Leonard, and Danny Green. That change focused on developing players instead of getting big free agents, which San Antonio couldn't do. They became the first franchise to really use their G League team. Pop also changed their pace. From 03 to 09, they averaged 91 possessions a game, slowest in the NBA. After 09, they became top 5 fastest. Why? Because instead of inside out, Pop modernized their offense. Instead of surrounding Duncan with shooters, they leaned into Tony Parker's talent. Pick and rolls, free-flowing, beautiful hoops with off-ball movement. This man completely changed his approach in the middle of a dynasty without anyone forcing him to do it. Who does that? Well, I know, one of the smartest coaches in the game. He doesn't need Hall of Famers to win. He wins with Hall of Famers. For example, you know how the corner three is the best shot in basketball? Coach Pop discovered that. He used to tell Steve Kerr to stand in the corner, which we see all the time now, but was weird back then. SA would rank first in corner threes per game all the years they were winning, until teams were like, maybe we should do that too. So yes, right now, Pop is playing the long game with Wembanyama, and it's painful. He thinks that the NBA is going away from small ball and wants 6'7" Jeremy Sohan to play point. It isn't pretty, but it's creating a foundation. Remember, Pop signed a 5-year extension before this season. When he moves into that Pat Riley front office role, he wants to leave the next guy a great team, just like Pat Riley did for Eric Spoelstra. So let Chet win Rookie of the Year. Wemby will be just fine. But speaking of evolution, it might be time for the Warriors to evolve past Klay Thompson. Tons of people are demanding that the Dubs finally trade Klay. So I had to look at if they should and what that would actually look like.